Hello, everyone. My name is Ana Martha Ayala, and I'd like to welcome you to my YouTube channel. As a reminder, I do every video in English and Spanish, and the degree theory is based on modern Western astrology using the Placidus house system. In today's video, I wanted to talk to you about the astrological aspects for the month of June of 2025. Overall, June, I think is going to be a pretty calm month, except for like maybe 3 days where the energy is going to be tense. And then, of course, it can escalate to something, major, but God willing, that won't happen. We are going to have Mars conjunct the fixed star sheet from about June 14th to June 19th. So there is potential of there's potential danger of an accident in the sea, right? Because Neptune rules the sea. Um, and it's also pretty much summertime, so if you're gonna go boating or jet skiing, make sure to wear a life jacket. If you're gonna go sailing, as a precaution, wear a life jacket. Also, Mars is going to conjunct President Trump's ascendant because he's 29 degrees Leo rising. So he should be careful with accidents. And when I mean accidents, it could be a trip, fall type of situation or another type of accident. Um, Now, Neptune rules oil and Mars will conjunct Neptune. So there can be accidents with oil in the sea, right? Or there could be major accidents, major boating accidents in the sea as well. Um, so remember that this summer, Neptune will be hovering around the fixed star sheet. So hurricanes, storms will be carrying a lot of water and they will also be very, very strong. So if you're on vacation this summer at a beachside location and there's a storm coming and they ask you to evacuate, do so. Be one of the first ones to pack up and leave. You can always go back to the resort, once the danger is cleared, or you can come back. I'm sure they're going to give you some kind of credit for the stay. Get travel insurance as well here in the United States. You can buy travel insurance, and that way you get your money back, and you don't lose your money. Now, other than that, let's get started with the month of June. June 8th, Mercury is going to conjunct Jupiter in Gemini at around 25 degrees. So this is an excellent day to sign a contract, for negotiations, for travel, all types of communication, because remember, Mercury rules communication. So writing, editing, speaking, launching a website, a presentation that you do for work, you get, thumbs up, right? It's wonderful. On June 8th, also Mercury enters Cancer. So the communication among people is going to be a little bit more emotional, right? Because Cancer is ruled by the moon and the moon rules emotions. So people may be a little bit sensitive when talking, right? June 9th, Jupiter enters Cancer for the first time in 12 years. The last time Jupiter was in Cancer was around mid 2013 to mid 2014. So think back to those years to see what happened in your life. So that part of your chart where Cancer is will bring you opportunities during this time for, from June 9th to I think it's June of 2026 as well is when it leaves Cancer and goes into Leo. But I will be doing a separate video on, Jupiter entering Cancer so you can get a better idea of how it's going to affect your chart. But think back to mid 2013, 2014, and see what happened in your life. And the themes should be very similar. On June 9th, also Mercury squares Saturn Mercury in Cancer squares Saturn in Pisces. So at about 1 degree, well, actually, Saturn is in Aries now. I'm sorry. It's Mercury in Cancer squares Saturn in Aries at 1 degree. So you may need to consult, this is a great day because it's a square to consult with a mentor, somebody, an expert. If you're trying to make an important decision, you might want to get their opinion on whatever it is that you want to do. Mercury is also squaring Neptune on this day. So if you have planets around 1 to 2 degrees in Cancer and Aries, um, when trying to making a when trying to make a decision, make sure you go over all the facts, verify the information before doing anything, because remember, Neptune rules to make a mistake. Um, and it may not let you see things very clearly, or you miss something. It's an oversight on your part. Um, Also on June 9th has the trifecta, right? Because it has so many aspects. Venus squares Pluto retrograde. So Venus is in Taurus and Pluto is in Aquarius. Around 3 to 4 degrees are the degrees that are affected. So in your close personal relationships, be aware that there may be very strong feelings, jealousy, being resentful. It can also be passion as well, because the square also gives passion, but just be mindful of this energy. On June 11th, we are going to have a full moon in Sagittarius, and I am going to bring up the chart. And as always, I go to astro-seek.com. You go here, this is the moon calendar, and you pull down this full moons and new moons. And then you go over here, and we're going to discuss the full moon in Sagittarius at 20 degrees. And then this is the chart that comes up. And as I've said before, because I try to teach you guys how to read charts on just to give you an overall feel, right? A full moon is when the sun is in opposition to the moon, right? And then you need to look at the aspects that are coming in with this full moon. So eh, you can see right here that this full moon, Mercury is the full moon is conjunct Mercury. Now it's a pretty big, um how do you call this? It's a wide conjunction, but they also aspect Mars. And Mars is over here, right? This little sextile here. So it's in sextile to Mars, it is in sextile to Venus, Neptune is sextile to Pluto. So your intuition, like this is a good full moon for intuition. Um, Now, this means there may be, whoops, there you go. Excuse me. There can be some kind of action that needs to be taken, like maybe starting a trip, because it's both Jupiter's conjunct Mercury, so it could be a long distance trip. It could be a short distance trip. Something dealing with higher education or learning. Higher education is Jupiter. Learning something is Mercury. Um, Religion, maybe something dealing with religion. Like I said, a long distance trip. A Neptune, like I said, is in the picture as well, because you need to make sure, because if Neptune's in the picture, you might get lost. You remember to make a mistake. So you need to know where how to get to where you're going. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. But the chart is The moon is trining Mars, so it's a great time to, like I said, to take action on something in this full moon. Eh, the only difficulty, like I mentioned a few minutes ago, is Venus squaring Pluto. So make sure that, no jealousy, no arguments, because they can get heated with your significant other. So that, other than that, we're good. Mercury on this, like I said, Mercury sextiles Venus in Taurus at 6 degrees. So this is great for communication, especially in business and love, right? You can ask someone on a first date because Mercury is sextiling Venus. And this is June 11th. This is with the full moon. There can also be a romantic getaway, a weekend trip, which would be nice. June 15th, Mars squares Uranus in Leo. So Mars is in Leo and Uranus is in Taurus at 29 degrees. So this one is a little bit unpredictable because Uranus is involved and it's the planet that we really can't predict. But there can be a surprise, um, some good, some not so good. So it depends on how this aspect affects your natal chart. On June 15th, also Jupiter squares Saturn. Jupiter is in Cancer and it's going to square Saturn in Aries at 1 degree. This is the third time that Jupiter squares Saturn, and it will be the last time for a while. So you can check out, I did a video back on my channel. Basically, it means that you get to restructure and you have new plans in the Cancer, Aries parts of your chart. So this square obviously will hit the cardinal signs, Aries, Cancer, and Capricorn, and Libra also. It's Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn the hardest. So guys, especially if you have planets at 1 degrees on these signs, Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn, this square will affect you. And you can give it a plus or minus 3 degrees for the orb. So think about the themes that came around back in around August 19th and around Christmas time, December 24th, right? And this last hit will conclude whatever happened on those two occasions. On June 18th, Jupiter squares Neptune. So Jupiter in Cancer is going to square Neptune in Aries at about 2 degrees. This can be a difficult transit for some people because if you've trusted somebody and you didn't see them clearly, you will see their real colors coming through on that day, June 18th, or around that day. You may feel like, you've been taken advantage of, or you've been betrayed, you've been lied to, Neptune, right? You are betrayed, you're lied, somebody steals from you. Um, all those that are not, great meanings of Neptune can be because it's a square. Also, you can trust but verify, especially in the world that we live today. It happens to a lot of people, so don't be hard on yourself if you do find out that somebody that you cared about, that you trusted, betrayed you. All right, so June 20th, Sun enters Cancer. So happy birthday to all the Cancers out there. I wish you, health, love, happiness, money too. All the best wishes for a nice year for you and a nice birthday. And also, of course, Cancer starts the summer solstice, right? It's the start of summer. It's the start of very hot weather. Now, June 22nd, the Sun squares Saturn. So the Sun is in Cancer and it's going to square Saturn in Aries at about 2 degrees. So there's a lot of things on your to-do list. So streamline the list. Saturn asks you to get, organized, get disciplined, get focused. Don't get overwhelmed, you know, Ask for help if you need it. And then the saving grace is that Jupiter is going to sextile Mars. So this can take some of the pressure off, that Saturn's going to get you going and you're going to get things done. June 23rd, the Sun squares Neptune. Again, the Sun in Cancer is going to square Neptune at 2 degrees. So this can bring a lot of creative ideas. Just make sure that you double check everything before taking action on those ideas, right? On June 24th, the Sun conjuncts Jupiter in Cancer. The Sun, I'm sorry, the Sun conjuncts Jupiter in Cancer at 3 degrees. So this is the luckiest day of the year for 2025. We didn't have this in 2024 because the Sun never conjuncted the Sun and Jupiter never were conjunct in Gemini. They came close, but they didn't conjunct. So use this day for something that you've been wanting to do. If today's your birthday, that's a very good omen for your solar return. So make good use of this year. If your birthday is June 24th. On June 25th, we're going to have the new moon in Cancer at 4 degrees. So I am going to bring up the chart. Oh boy. Let's see. Sahara wants to make a cameo again. So this one, we're talking about this full moon. There we go. So this is let me see. No, this is the full moon. Let's look at, no, June 11th. This one's not giving me the what I want. So let's do it again. And June 25th. There we go. All right, so new moon. The new moon is a conjunction of the sun and the moon, right? They're together. And it is conjunct Jupiter, right? So it has a sextile to Mars, this line here. It has a square from Saturn and Neptune. So we are going to discuss the meaning of those things, right? Jupiter, Jupiter obviously in Cancer is hey, stop. Sorry, that's my puppy. Jupiter is conjunct the new moon. So this is great for home, property, real estate, family matters. Like I said, there's a sextile from Mars. So there's a small opportunity that can come up from this new moon, but it's squared by Saturn. So move slowly. And Neptune. So check everything carefully before you move forward on any like family, property, real estate opportunity that comes in. On June 26th, Mercury enters Leo. On June 27th, let me stop sharing here. There we go. On June 27th, Mercury is going to trine Saturn in so Mercury in Leo is trining Saturn in Aries anywhere from 0 to 2 degrees. So it's a great day for commitment. Anything that you want to last a long time. So today is the day to say yes. So you can make a marriage proposal or ask somebody to be your boyfriend, girlfriend, that would be a nice day for, for the relationship to work out. Or to get a yes, actually, not the relationship working out, but at least for the person to say yes. On June 28th, Mercury is going to trine Neptune. So Mercury in Leo is going to trine Neptune in Aries at around 2 degrees. So it's an excellent day for speech. You can persuade people because your words can be very attractive. You can magnetize, you can convince someone about something that you want to do. Also, you can have a lot of creative ideas because Mercury also not only rules your communication, but it also rules your thoughts. So a lot of creative ideas can come around June 28th. And then lastly, June 29th is when Mercury opposes Pluto retrograde. So Mercury is in Leo and Pluto obviously is in Aquarius, and we're talking around 3 degrees. So this is not a good day to argue with a person of authority like your boss, your parents, the police, or another person that has power over you because the argument can go to greater heights. This is one of the a little bit more difficult days of the month. But otherwise, I think that, this month is going to be pretty okay, except for that sheet and Mars conjunction and Mars and Neptune conjunction. So again, if you are on vacation, be mindful of any storms that are coming, and if you're asked to evacuate, do so. If you're jet skiing, sailing, doing anything in the sea, make sure you have your life jacket on and enjoy the start of the summer. So, thank you for watching the video. I hope that you guys have a great start to the summer. If you would like a natal chart reading with me, please send me an email to amaastrology@aol.com. If you would like to share the video with somebody that can find it useful, please do. Otherwise, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.